Sunday night baseball is live and on the air on the show as we present you here in North Texas. And now, here is the star of the show, the one, the only, Johnny Baker. Well, thank you there, Bobby. We'd like to welcome you into the live coverage of our Sunday evening ball game. It is the final game of our 6-game series between the visiting San Antonio Missions and your Frisco Quesos. We're going to say it is our last ever meetup between the two ball clubs today. And so far, to the Frisco RoughRiders, just best wishes to everybody going through the rest of this season. Frisco taking on Wichita Tuesday through next Sunday through their start of their series next week. Well, San Antonio at home taking on Northwest Arkansas, which that is going to be a pretty good one. Well, anyway, a beautiful Sunday evening as we get ready to go here in Frisco. But first, let's get off to the pregame show. Firsthand, we got to say that Saturday night baseball was pretty good for San Antonio, winning into a 2-game winning Saturday. San Antonio 9-4 the final of last night. And so far today, Frisco trying to capitalize on a 2-game losing streak against San Antonio. Well, anyway, got my friend Bob in here in the booth. And so far, I got to say, Bobby, this team is down to their final game today with the Missions. And so far, what do we expect out of these two teams today? Well, may the best winner take all in this one. And so far, hopefully, things will go well for these two teams. That is for sure, and especially with San Antonio's last day here in Frisco for the year. And then going home to take on Northwest Arkansas, going on the road for Springfield, back home to take on Midland, and then the last ever week in the Texas League season, taking on the Amarillo Sod Poodles. And then the final 4 teams will be battling it out in the Texas League playoffs. And then right after that, it'll be the Texas League Championship Series. And best of 3 out of those 2 division series. And so far, it will be pretty good. We'll go online now at RoughRidersBaseball.com. or missionsbaseball.com, or wherever you may have us dialed us in, anywhere in the Texas League, whether if you're from San Antonio or Frisco or anywhere, make sure you download Bally Live. It's a free app. You don't have to pay anything. It is free. No purchase necessary. Just create your account, and you can watch any minor league or AAA game anywhere on the go. Don't forget, download Bally Live, or actually, we already did Bally Live, but give them a good shout out as well. Bally Live, a pretty good app. Don't forget to also download YouTube, and you can watch us all season long here on this channel. And so far, YouTube Live is the place to be for minor league baseball, even for a San Antonio fan like me. Well, anyway, we're just about set to go as we lead off the top half of the first inning for San Antonio. And so far now, take you downstairs as we present this Sunday night's game here in Frisco. Well, one more time as these two teams will meet for the year. And so far, may the best one win here tonight in this one. Well, Frisco RoughRiders will call up Joe Ross on the mound for the Quesos. Right-handed starter ERA 5.12, strikeout rate of 17.1, 282 on the average of right-hand to left-handed batters, which that is pretty good. The shortstop, Francisco Acuna, will get things ready to rock and roll. And here's the first pitch. That one high and outside is 1 ball, no strikes. We are underway, 6:17 p.m. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch. And that one is in for a called strike. It's 1-1. Well, anyway, third baseman Nate Mondu was called up to AAA El Paso after being on the San Antonio roster for at least a month or 2 months. But evidently, we wish him well on his journey ahead to the major leagues. And so far, hope he comes back soon. Here's pitch, and that one's going to be high fly in the air. Both outfielders give a chase. Nobody could get there. That will land up for a right field base hit. And boy, the second baseman and right fielder tried to run it down, but they couldn't catch up to it. Here is center fielder Kai Roberts as he takes that one outside for ball 1. Well, Northwest Arkansas and Springfield are in delayed start. I think they are getting thunderstorm activity as they go through that neck of the woods. Let's go ahead and give you final scores. Midland 14-0 there in downtown Amarillo at Water Ridge. Boy, got a good game there, as that game was a blowout against the Amarillo Sod Poodles. Corpus Christi winning 5-2 there at the Porch in Wichita. What's that right there? Pretty good game against Corpus Christi and the Wind Surge. And with that, let's give the San Antonio starting lineups here. As you can see them, Acuna, Roberts, Murphy, Sanabria, Carpathio, Dungan, Wells, Linares, and Castañon will round it out for the San Antonio Missions. Here he is, left fielder Kai Murphy as he comes in. Take that one in for a strike. It's 0-1. That one is in for a strike. It's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count now. And that one is in for a ball. 1-2. And that is ball 2. We having a little difficulty with that one. Downstairs, it's ball 3. I don't know there, Bobby. I think we're having a little trouble. I don't know there, Bobby. I think we're having a little. No, we're not having any trouble out of the broadcast, but just thinking the internet is slow. They have us dialed us in on the phone and stuff. Romeo Sanabria coming in. No balls and 1 strike, and here is the pitch. And that one is going to be right there, and that's going to get the runner to go to third. And it's first and third now. And San Antonio having their run 90 feet away to score in. Here is Braden Carpathios as he takes a whiff out of it. 0-1 as he goes down swinging. Nothing and 1. Ground ball. And they get him out at second, and that's the half inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. Bottom of the first inning coming up. RoughRiders coming to bat right after these messages. So we'll be ready to go as our right-handed starter is on the mound for San Antonio coming up next. Well, we lead off the bottom half of the first inning for Frisco. Right now, the RoughRiders Baseball Network. Thank you there, Bobby. Right-handed starter, Sean Boyle on the mound for San Antonio. And what do we know about him, Bobby? Well, the four-seam slider, changeup, and a cutter, a pretty good scouting report to the reservoir, which that is always a good thing to see on a starting pitcher. Leading it off for the Quesos, right fielder Yaisen Morabel. Coming in for Frisco. Here's the pitch. That one ricochet foul, 0-1. No balls and one strike. And a pitch. That one out of play, foul, 0-2. Gotta say, Bobby, the computer acting funny tonight. Yeah, you're not kidding there, Johnny. So what are you doing, restarting it? Yep. Here's pitch, that one outside. And that one foul, 0-2. Still hanging on is Yaisen Morabel. 0-2 offering, and that one's going to be pelted high in the air. And that's going to be extra bases. And that will be Morabel coasting into second with a leadoff double. By golly, that was a hard hit ball for the leadoff batter. But that is pretty good. Both outfielders tried to get it going, but they both can't catch up with it. So that's out for the infield for that two-base double. Here is Casey Cook as he comes in. No balls, one strike. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that one is in for strike two. No balls, two strikes. Here's the windup and delivery. And that's going to be ground ball to Castañon. He'll throw him out at first as Sanabria gets him. And that's out number one. But the runner goes from second to third on the ground ball. Well, the Frisco RoughRiders starting lineups will look like this. Morabel, Cook, Chavez, Guerrero, Scott, Jones second. Lee, Sang, Brock, and Hardy rounded out for the Riders here tonight. Third baseman, Frenier Chavez, getting ready to go. Here's the windup. Oh, never mind. That's a box. So now the run is in to score. And now Frisco takes a early 1-0 lead. Don't really think the starting pitcher, Sean Boyle, liked that one way too much. And that one is in for a strike. It's 0-1. Well, you don't think he did anything intentional on the mound, do you? I don't think he did. But I don't think that was intentional. I think that was on purpose. Well, same thing. 1-1, here's the pitch. Ground ball straight away. And Sanabria will pick it up and put it to first himself for the out. There's two down. Number 27. Well, that's going to bring in Pablo Guerrero as he comes in. Wind up and the pitch. That one is high fly in the air. And that one goes foul as Carpathios goes over to look at it. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that one stopped by Sanabria. He takes it himself. And that's a 1-2-3. And the side is retired. A run, a hit, no errors. And nobody left. We go to the second inning, and it is Frisco 1-0. So we'll get set to go as third baseman Clay Dungan be ready to go for San Antonio when we come back. Well, we're about set to go for inning number 2 for San Antonio right now on the Riders Baseball Network. Thank you there, Bobby. Third baseman Clay Dungan getting ready to go. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-0. See, everything is back up and running on the good old computer. Bobby was working on that just as we were on break. Trey Supak, Aiden Curry, two right-handed relievers are now in the Frisco bullpen throwing their warm-up tosses. The count now 1-1. Boy, gotta say for Nate Mondale, it was an honor to see him. And may he do very well in AAA El Paso. Right there, line drive, that is a base hit. Left center field. Boy, so far, always a pleasure to see him from 2018. Pretty good Midland Rockhounds. Yeah, he was a really good prospect for Midland way back then there, Johnny. And he sure was. Kason Wells coming in. Will take an inside strike. It's 0-1. Still a delayed start there in Springfield. Boy, I tell you one thing, if the rain continues there in Springfield, I guess that final game against Northwest Arkansas getting postponed. Yeah, I gotta say, Johnny, that wouldn't be a good thing if that actually did happen. But hopefully things will change around for Springfield to play baseball against their final time on taking Northwest Arkansas. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count now to Wells. Here's a 1-2 offering. And that one is pelted. That one's high. And that's going to drift foul. 3.9 foot outside of the foul pole. And again, here's a 1-2. And that's going to be right up the middle through for a center field base hit. Tying run now getting into scoring position there at second. And so far, pretty good for San Antonio as now getting 2 back-to-back singles. And now here is Oswaldo Linares. As he fouls that one off, it's 0-1. Pretty good here tonight for these two ball clubs to meet one last time here in the season. Here's a 0-1, and that's going to be a ground ball to second for 1, and they get them both, but a runner out there at third is safely 90 feet away from scoring in. A base hit will literally get the runner into that 1-1 tie. What's that right there would be pretty good, Bobby. Yeah, I got to say, Johnny, it would be a good thing to see a base hit. And so far, to see this game get tied up in the early goings. Boy, that nearly got second baseman Marcos Castañones just a few inches from his shoulders. And that is right back to the mound. They throw him out, and that is the half inning. No runs on 3 hits, no errors, and they don't leave anybody on. We go bottom of 2. Frisco leads it 1-0. So we'll be right back here on the Sunday night as Quincy Scott comes in for the Rough Riders. Bottom of 2 coming up. Well, it's time for the next half inning here on RoughRiders Baseball. And now it's turning it back over to Johnny Baker as we bring you the bottom of 2 right now. Thank you there, Bobby. Quincy Scott coming in, 5-6-7, due up against San Antonio starter Sean Boyle. Taking that one in for a strike. It's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. And that one is high. Up to left field. And it's out of here. Now Frisco scoring in 2-0 now as Quincy Scott gets a home run. Boy, and that is really good right there for Frisco, I should say. Not too good for San Antonio starter Sean Boyle. Boy, giving up that lone run is now making San Antonio doubt themselves. But hopefully that things could change around here in the ball game. There is Keith Jones, the second, as he's going to get that one. Nope, never mind. He ain't going to get it. That's through for a base hit. Well, hopefully, Johnny, things will turn around once everything is all good to go. But I'll tell you one thing. It ain't going to be too pretty if San Antonio gets in there and having to make up a lot of these runs in the late goings. That is for sure. Oh, no ball and 1 strike as Lee Sang is going to challenge that one. And now overturned, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 offering. And that one is going to be fouled. It's 1-1. Well, still a delay start in Springfield against Northwest Arkansas. I bet you it's raining pretty good. Well, didn't you check the weather? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Bobby. I was going to do that real quick when I was on my phone. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Lee Sang. And that one's going to be a foul ball, and still hanging on is 1-2. 1-2 offering. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be high fly in the air and out of play. Well, I bet you there's a lot of people here that downloaded Atlas Earth, and now they play to get badges, bar sales, and a big 25% on that based rent.
No, that's a ball.
That's a ball, and the count now 2-2. And Sean Boyle is talking with home plate umpire Chris Davis Jr. And gotta say, he is not in favor with that fastball being called a ball. The pitch right there, and that is foul too. Not every day you see foul balls come into play, but most evidently they do drift out really good. High in the air, straightaway center as center fielder Guy Roberts gets it down for out number 1.
Batting 8, catcher number 4.
Well, Arkansas and Tulsa scheduled to go at 7 o'clock at 6:49 here. Julian Brock coming in. Double play would end the half inning as we would be off to the 3rd here in this one. 0-1 right there, right of play, and it's a count now 0-2. Well, after tonight, we are counting down to our last 4 weeks here in the Texas League season. Most evidently with San Antonio taking on Northwest Arkansas, Springfield, Midland, and Amarillo. No balls, 2 strikes, and a pitch. That one fouled off and still hanging on. Boy, it's a challenge between the starter and the batters that Sean Boyle has to face off tonight. And hopefully trying to win in a batters or starting pitchers duel right here. Yeah, that is for sure. Every foul off ball is confusing Sean Boyle. But hopefully he starts winning. right there is a swing and a miss. And he strikes him out for the first strikeout. And they're 2 down. Pretty good for Sean Boyle as he recuperated that fastball. Here is shortstop Theo Hardy. Hardy coming in, and that is in for a code strike, 0-1. I would say Springfield does have thunderstorms in the forecast. 51 percentage by 7 p.m. So it will pretty much come down a heavy rainstorm. If they don't play tonight, then between the final 4 clubs today is San Antonio, Frisco, Arkansas, and Tulsa tonight. Right there, a swing and a miss. Down he goes, and that ends the half inning on 3. Well, we head to the third, but first we look at the instant replay of this prospect right here, number 79, getting that home run. And it is now a 2-0 ball game for Frisco. And we'll have a new relief starter coming to start off the top of the third for Frisco. San Antonio coming to bat right after this. Well, we go top of the third inning for San Antonio. Right now, the Riders Baseball Network. Right-handed reliever is Trey Supak as he is on the mound for the Quesos. Four-seam slider changeup and a curveball coming in for Frisco. With a 96-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball, really a high-pitch volume for his arsenal. Leadoff batter is shortstop Francisco Acuna as he leads it off for San Antonio. That one is high fly in the air, straightaway right field. And he runs it down for the out. And what a great play that is. Center fielder Kai Roberts coming in, 0 for 1, a strikeout. 6:54 is Arkansas and Tulsa fixing to get ready to go. They're DCJ. Hopefully they are pretty much staying in tune with the weather forecast there, as basically just east of the Tulsa metropolitan area, severe thunderstorms are headed off to Springfield, and that's why a delayed start. Just not going pretty good for two teams there in the Missouri area. Most evidently, Northwest Arkansas and Springfield will probably get postponed tonight if these storms continue to happen. Well, probably, but they could only get in there and wait for so long for these severe thunderstorms to pass by. That is for sure. That one high flying in the air, straightaway center. And just shy of the warning track is in the center field area, making the catch is the center fielder for route number 2.
Number 93.
But you know, when there's a lightning around the area, you've always got to play it safe because you never know where lightning can hit. I mean, it can hit you, it can hit anybody. Shoot, it takes me back to that time when a Odessa high school football player was struck by lightning. But you know, the lucky thing about it is he wore the football helmet and it protected him. No, God gave you
That's a ball.
a protective. Yeah, and it was that football helmet. That is for sure. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Right there, a swing and a miss. And that will do for this half inning. Nothing doing here. And that will pretty much be it for this half of the third. We go bottom of 3. Frisco leads it 2-0. Also, FYI, that's based off a true story on what happened in Odessa, Texas. Was so far with the lightning storm that was there at Ratliff Stadium there in Odessa. It was a massive storm, and so far, somebody getting hit by lightning. Definitely a true story to talk about. And yet the player that got hit by lightning survived, which that was pretty good. But the helmet took a really bad burn. It was scorched a little bit, but luckily the guy was safe. So pretty good. Well, anyway, we'll be right back. Bottom of the third for Frisco coming up. Baseball Network. 2-0 lead for Frisco as we enter into the bottom of the third. Yaisen Morabel coming in. First pitch right outside, and it's 1-0. Danger's about lightning. It's hotter than our average sun. Cook you like a goose if you're out and you get struck. Right there is the pitcher. Sean Boyle covers the bag for the out.
Now batting, second baseman.
Boy and Romeo Sanabria working alongside with his teammates as best as he can. You know, in this year alone, even though we saw what happened around San Antonio just a few months ago, that 5 horses were killed out there in Woodsboro, and 1 more somewhere else. Make that a total of 6 horses that were killed by lightning this year. Man, and just to tell you one thing, that is how powerful Mother Nature can be when you see a lightning storm and you know that lightning is just the dangerous aspect of a thunderstorm. Indeed, you're right there, Bobby. That's why if there's any lightning, it's always best to stay inside, unplug your electronics, and wait for the storm to pass by. Because you never know. I mean, basically, you could hit a telephone pole, could hit your house, everything. You know, you never know. But that's how powerful Mother Nature will tend to be during the severe thunderstorm season. Well, with 2 down, third baseman Frenier Chavez coming in is 0 for 1 a ground out. Well, that's why we always take severe weather very seriously in the Texas League, whether in San Antonio, Frisco, or wherever. We will always play it safe. If there is a lightning, the field is going to be left empty, and so far fans can take cover under a concourse or a gift shop or whatever. But so far, you know, through the months that we've been really good, you know, July was really active with the storms there in San Antonio, and so far it's been a slim active season as we get into the month of August and September.
That's a ball.
That one outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Pablo Guerrero's 0 for 1 a ground out. But evidently, severe weather season could continue through into December. And we've actually seen that a lot of times. Baseball Network. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count now. And here's the pitch. That's right there to the third baseman as he makes the play and ends the half inning. Well, no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on. We go to the 4th, and it is Frisco leading 2-0. Braden Carpathios will lead it off for the 4th when we come back here in this one. And so far, going to be a pretty interesting ball game. Arkansas and Tulsa lead off the top of the first inning there at DCJ Field. And so far, pretty good on that. Northwest Arkansas and Springfield are delayed still, so no changes on that ball game. We'll let you know if any further updates continue from the ballpark there in Springfield. And so far, we'll let you know what's going on at Blue River. So we'll be right back here in this one. Well, we're about set to go for the top half of the fourth inning for San Antonio right now on the Riders Baseball Network. Thank you there, Bobby. Braden Carpathios, the right fielder, comes in. We'll take that one down and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch right there, and that one is found. 1-1. Boy, a big 3-out inning there in Tulsa. They go through the top of the first inning against Arkansas, 1-2-3. Pitch, and that one out of play, foul. Still hanging on, 1-2. Here is the pitch, 1-2. High pop up, and that will bounce off the dugout. Still foul ball for Carpathios. And boy, look out, that just about took his nose off. Man, Supak really trying to plunk somebody in the face. And again, holy mackerel. So full count now. Clay Dungan waits on deck. That one right there, ground ball to second. Throw him out at first. And that is out number 1.
Clay Dungan.
Well, the third baseman, Clay Dungan, coming in, 1-for-1 single. Boy, with Nate Mondu gone already into AAA baseball. That is pretty good for our third baseman, a former San Antonio Mission.
Hitter, number 12.
But wishing him the best of luck on the journey to El Paso and the San Diego Padres. We'll definitely be rooting for him wherever he may be, whether he gets a free agency trade or whatever it is. San Antonio and Midland and the Texas League will be rooting for him along the way. No balls, 2 strikes. Casing Wales from the windup and the stretch, and here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. So 3 up, 3 down here in this half of the inning. And so far, no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody on for San Antonio. We go bottom of 4. Frisco leads it 2-0. Quincy Scott leads it off as we get set to go for the bottom of the 4th inning. And we'll be right back here in this one. Well, we are about set to go for the next half inning, but first, we're going to let you know that playoff tickets are available now. Add on a $5 playoff pass to catch every home game playoff game. 9:15 at second half champion, 9:17 second half champion, 9:18 versus the second half champion. Get your tickets now, roughridersbaseball.com, and so far y'all are good to go. For our 4 finalists, Amarillo, Frisco, Arkansas, and Tulsa. May the best of those 4 teams get ready to have fun. May the best team win. Bottom half of the 4th inning, Quincy Scott leads it off for Frisco. Is that one outside? 1 ball, no strikes. Would have been nice if San Antonio would have got into the playoff rounds, but most evidently just not having a good year thus far, but they have been winning it pretty well.
Designated hitter.
Especially having that last game against Midland was the day that it was a secured deposit on the playoff round contests. Which evidently all 4 teams, first and second place winners, would get into a playoff punch ticket. Here's Keith Jones the second, and that one's outside, 1-1. Arkansas and Tulsa now top of the 2nd inning. No score. Frisco leading 2-0 against San Antonio here tonight. Statesman's Park, final game of the series. 1-2. Swing and a miss, got him. So 2 down as the 4th strikeout going to Sean Boyle. Here is center fielder Marcus Lee Sang. Well, still a delayed start in there in Springfield. Already 7-19. And that one is in for the called strike. 0-1. 52 pitches for the starter, Sean Boyle. As starting on 4 innings of work. And that one's going to be high fly right off the base of the wall. And that's going to be a 2-out double for Lee Sang.
Now batting. Catcher.
Pretty good way of getting in and getting something going for Frisco. Kind of sad to say goodbye to these 2 teams that meet up for the last time this year. And there he goes. And they got him out at third as they picked him off. And that will do it. So no runs on a hit, no errors, and nobody left. 5th inning coming up. And it is the top of the 5th coming in as Oswaldo Linares will lead it off for San Antonio. The Rough Riders in front 2-0. So we go to inning number 5 coming up. Well, we lead off the top of the fifth inning for San Antonio. Right now, the RoughRiders Baseball Network. Oswaldo Linares coming in now as he'll take a strike inside, 0-1. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. 0-2 offering.
Foul!
And that one is going to be foul, 0-2. And that one is outside, 1-2. High in the air, straight away. Right field, and that is out number 1.
Now batting, second baseman, number 9.
The second baseman, Marcos Castañon, coming in 0 for 1 a ground out tonight. Here's the windup, and the 0 first pitch. That one is in for a strike, 0-1. Still no score as they get into the bottom half of the second inning there in Tulsa. That one fouled off. It's 0-2. Boy, no score there in Tulsa against Arkansas. Now 1-2. Boy, 7:29 and still no start there in Springfield. Final game of the series against Northwest Arkansas. That one is right up the middle for the base hit to center. Boy, really get something going for Castañon.
Francisco Acuna.
I think what really happened for Nate Mondu coming into San Antonio for at least a few months and getting some pretty good home runs, they actually called him up to AAA El Paso, and so far now being in Pacific Coast League under a new city, a new uniform, and so far with the allies that he has in the San Diego Padres organization, always really good. That one right there, boy, that one is high. That one deep, it is gone, a home run. And this ball game is tied as Francisco Acuna puts that one out of reach. And it's a 2-2 ball game here in the fifth. Boy, really good. The exit velocity is 102. The launch angle was 29. 5.62 in the hang time. And 410 feet. Which that is pretty good. We're tied at 2-2 here in this half of the fifth inning. And, we do have a visitor. We'll be right back. will return to this ball game. Center fielder Kai Roberts coming in. And yes, it was no visitor that was knocking at the door. It was Amazon. No balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. That one back up through. And that is up to first in time for out number 2.
Left fielder Kai Murphy.
Left fielder Kai Murphy coming in. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout. Don't forget, new episodes of Picani airing out Saturdays, 9:30, here to J. Baker Flux. Always a good thing to see a TV series that's returned for its 3rd season and now being renewed for a 4th season as well. That one right there, the count now, 0-2. How many seasons do you think that TV show will ever have? Well, it just depends there, Bobby, but Baker J Studios apparently gets the show going. Right there, diving stop, and that will be the end of this half inning. And so far, that will do it. But 2 runs come in across the score. Boy, Pablo Guerrero gets in and stops the base hit from coming in. And it's a 2-2 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning.
Catcher.
And here is Julian Brock now, 0 for 1, a strikeout. Boy, Tulsa now leading at 2-0 in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Well, finally, Northwest Arkansas and Springfield finally getting ready to go, and that's really good. After a half hour or an hour and a half wait delay on the thunderstorms. Right there up to right field, Braden Carpathios runs it down, and that is out number 1.
Now batting the shortstop.
Well, Springfield got a pretty good brief rain pour. Not too terrible on that. Thunderstorm activity moving off to its east, away from Springfield. Looking at the Doppler radar right now for Missouri. High in the air to the left field is Kai Murphy. He'll make the play. Out number 2.
Now batting right fielder.
Well, the right fielder is Yaisen Morabel as he comes in. 1 for 2 double. 2-2 ball game. Bottom of the 5th inning here in Frisco. Final game of this 6-game series. The last ever meetup between these 2 ball clubs for the year. No balls, 1 strike, and the pitch. And right there in the end for a strike, it's 0-2. Well, Bobby, 24 times these 2 teams have met this year, and so far next year in 2027, they'll meet up another 24 times. Yeah, that's right there, Johnny. 12 games there in San Antonio, 12 in Frisco. Not a bad ordeal. Well, that is for sure. Here's a 1-2 offering. Right there, called strike 3. They got him down, and that ends the half inning. Well, it's no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on. And we go to the 6th inning. Coming up, it is 2-2. Halfway through this ball game in the finale, as we give you the instant replays of this first half of the ball game. So far, these 2 teams really coming in, combined forces, as it's a 2-2 ball game here in this one. The winners could take all, and the losers going home after tonight. But evidently, Frisco stays home to take on Wichita Tuesday through next Sunday next week. Right-handed reliever is Dan Acker as he comes in. The scouting report says it all. 4-seam on a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, curveball slider, and a 2-seam as well. Romeo Sanabria leads it off as we get into the 6th inning, and now it's going to be high flying in the air to the right field area, or left field, left field area,
Right fielder number
as that would go down for out number 1. Yeah, you were thinking it was the right field area, but your eyes play tricks on you. Oh, shush it, Bobby. Here is Braden Carpathios. That one's high. High, high, high. It is gone. And San Antonio takes the lead by Braden Carpathios. Boy, tell you one thing, really good to see as San Antonio never gave up hope. And always a pretty good thing. That is for sure there, Johnny. Man, now it's a 3-2 ball game here in the top of the sixth inning as third baseman Clay Duncan coming in 1-for-2 single. You know, and as I say so myself, Nate Mondu will always be remembered in the Texas League for Midland and San Antonio combined. Two right-handed relievers now up to the Frisco bullpen to start their pitching relief as Alexis Diaz, do beg my pardon there. Then another right-handed reliever coming in as well. Springfield now leading Northwest Arkansas 1-0. Bottom half of the first inning, boy, a 1-2-3 half inning for the Naturals. 2-2. And right there, ground ball to the second baseman. Up to first for the out, and there's 1-2 down.
Now batting, the designated
Well, you thought it was 1 down. Now it's 2 down. And so far, pretty good on that. That is for sure there, Bobby. Kason Wells coming in, as that one is outside for a curveball, 1-0. Boy, 14-0. Midland taking that ball game on a blowout. That one is high fly in the air, and that's going to bounce the wall as Kason Wells gets a 2-out double. And now a new runner into scoring position. There is second with a 2-out double. Pretty good right there as he gets in, and so far, gotta say, always a good thing to see somebody like this guy could get in and literally get something going. That is for sure. Oswaldo Linares coming in 0-for-2, a fly out and a ground out. Here's the 0-1 offering. Outside, it's 1-1. Linares coming in. Here's the pitch to him. And that's a swing and a miss, 1-2. Nighttime on a Sunday. Sunday night baseball live here in Frisco. And that one will be out for out number 3 as the third baseman gets his man out at first. But you look at this guy right here. Boy, really untying the ball game on the solo shot to right field. And it's a 3-2 ball game as we lead it off in the 6th inning for Casey Cook as he comes in for the RoughRiders. Be right back here in this one. Well, we lead off the bottom half of the sixth inning right now as Casey Cook coming in for the Frisco RoughRiders.
That's a ball.
That one is outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Sean Boyle now at 61 pitches in this game. So far, pretty good, and that's in for a strike. It's 1-1. San Antonio leading this game 3-2 in the bottom half of the sixth inning. And that one is a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Boy, Springfield, after being in that hour-and-a-half rain delay, now lead Northwest Arkansas 3-0. Pretty good to get a start going there, right, Bobby? Uh-huh. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a pitch. Out of play, foul, 1-2. But it's always thinking about player safety and fan safety as well. You know, those lightning storms, they get dangerous. Well, that is for sure there, Bobby. You always got to think about safety for the people and for your players. For the team, the coaches, everybody. You know, keep your eyes on the weather in this one. The 6th strikeout, Sean Boyle gets the first one out. And here is Frenier Chavez as he comes in. The pitch is in for the strike. It's 0-1. Tying run to the plate is Chavez, the third hole hitter.
That's the ball.
Outside, a changeup is 1-1. Boy, to tell you one thing, it will be pretty good to see how things turn from here. 1-1, here's the pitch. Right there, ground ball to Francisco Acuna. And that is going to be, an error on the first baseman. Romeo Sanabria will get thrown off the bag. And boy, that is the first San Antonio error in the series. They've had 5 consecutive nights not even having 1 error committed until tonight. Pablo Guerrero comes in. We'll take a strike inside. 0-1. 0-2 line out and a ground out. Boy, now the tying run at first base. The go-ahead is Pablo Guerrero. And that one is in for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. And here's the pitch, high in the air and out of play. And that one will drift foul. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. That one foul. The 0-2 offering. And that's going to be right there. Line drive, right field. That's a base hit. Now first and second, nobody. Well, one way, should I say. I'm not going to say nobody about it. But one down here in this ball game with 2 on bases now. Quincy Scott coming in. Here's the pitch to him right there. And he's going to step on, and they get the force out at third. And so far, they'll keep one more prospect off that base path as they get the force out at third, which that's a pretty good play right there. Designated hitter Keith Jones, the second 1-for-2 single. Here's a pitch. And that one is outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Quincy Scott at first, Pablo Guerrero there at second base. 2 men down here in the bottom of the 6th inning, a San Antonio 3-2 lead. In the bottom of inning number 6. That one is fouled off. Still hanging on. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count now here to Keith Jones, the second. That one is ricochet foul, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's a balk. Now second and third. As Sean Boyle not happy about that one. even though the tying run is going to be 90 feet away from scoring in. And despite the fact that now that Frisco has 2 more on bases, now the tie-breaking run sits at second.
That's 3.
And right there, a called strike 3. That ends the half inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left as we go now to the top of the 7th inning. And it is San Antonio 3-2 as we get ready for the last 3 innings here tonight. We'll be right back here in this one as we'll lead it off as Marcos Castañon leads it off here in the 7th. Well, about set to go for the top of the 7th inning here in Frisco, right now on the RoughRiders Baseball Network. Marcos Castañon to lead it off. Right there, ground ball. Ground hop to the shortstop. Throws him out at first in time. Out number 1.
Now batting, shortstop Francisco Acuna.
Boy, Francisco Acuna coming in now. Boys, we look at him the last go round as he came in and hit a 2-run homer, tied up the ball game. So far, this guy really pretty good prospect for the San Diego Padres. Well, he's also good for our home team in San Antonio there, Johnny. Yeah, he is. Especially every prospect in the Padres, Texas Rangers, Oakland A's, Seattle Mariners, Kansas City Royals, Seattle Mariners. Did I say Seattle? I think I did. I don't think you did. Minnesota Twins, Houston Astros, and Arizona Diamondbacks. They're all good. Every prospect that goes through the AA system is always a good thing. Here's a 2-1 offering. And that one's going to be a high pop up straight away, up to right field. The right fielder runs it down for out number 2. And that is 2 down.
Number 24.
Well, the manager coming out for the Quesos. And so far, that's going to do for Dane Acker, as that's going to be it for him as he goes back to the bullpen. Or, not the bullpen, the dugout. Duh. Thank you there, Bubby. Alexis Diaz, a new right-handed reliever, is on the mound for Frisco. And so far, got to say, a pretty good one as he gets on the mound for the Frisco RoughRiders. Center fielder Kai Roberts coming in as he will greet face-to-face Alexis Diaz, a new right-handed reliever for the RoughRiders. That one is outside 2-0. Tulsa leading 4-1 against Arkansas. Springfield leading 3-1 against Northwest Arkansas. Bottom half of the 2nd inning. Boy, so far it's always good to see that these boys are going really good in the ball game. The pitch, outside slider, and it's 3-1. Seventh inning stretch coming up as now it's going to be a 3-2 full count, but loses him on ball 4, so now that will be a pitch going down for ball 4, and there will be a base runner. Here's pitch, and that one is inside for a strike. It's 0-1. Final 6 teams tonight playing baseball, while the first early 4, which that was Midland and Amarillo, Corpus Christi, and Wichita, had early starts today around 1 to 2 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah, I know what you were doing between those 2 times here today. You were pretty much sleeping. That is for sure. That one is high in the air, straight away. Center field. And that is out number 3. Well, we go to the 7th inning stretch. Everybody get up and stretch those legs. And the San Antonio Missions lead at 3-2 here in the bottom of 7 coming up. So we'll be right back as Marcus Lee Sang will get things ready to go for Frisco when we come back. Well, we go to the bottom half of the seventh inning right now on the RoughRiders Baseball Network. Well, hope everybody enjoyed the seventh inning stretch, and so far pretty good here in this one.
Now pitching.
Well, it's going to be a bullpen change as Garrett Hawkins will be on the mound for San Antonio in relief. A four-seam changeup slider and a two-seam fastball getting ready to go for the San Antonio Missions. Marcus Lee Sang coming in as he'll lead it off for the Quesos. That one right there, foul, 0-1. No balls, one strike, and the pitch right there high in the air. Now to play foul, 0-2. Last three innings here for these two teams to meet. That one ground ball, it's hopping. Right there, Castañon throws to Sanabria, and that is out number one.
Catcher, number 4.
Well, that'll bring in number 4, Julian Brock, the catcher. 0 for 2 strikeout and a flyout here tonight. Looking pretty good. And here's the pitch. Right there, a swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Here's the pitch. That one foul, and it goes 0-2. Just a nice warm evening as nighttime baseball continuing onward. And a swing and a miss. They get him down on strikes. And that's 2 down.
Number 3.
Frisco down to their final out here in the bottom of the seventh inning here. And here is Theo Hardy. That one fouled off, and it's 0-1. Top of the eighth coming up right after this one. So far, always a good thing to see all that come in. 0-1. Right there, that is a line straight away center for a base hit. 2-out single continues this half inning.
Now batting. Right fielder.
Boy, just a pretty good start here for also San Antonio tonight. Dyson Mortabel coming in, and he's going to pop that one high in the air in front of the audience behind the backstop, and that is out number 3. So that pretty much sums up everything as the side is retired. We go top half of the eighth. San Antonio leads it 3-2, a close game as we go to the eighth inning coming up. Be right back here in this one as Romeo Sanabria will lead it off in the eighth coming up. Well, we lead off the top half of the 8th inning for San Antonio right now on the RoughRiders Baseball Network. Romeo Sanabria coming in. Thank you there, Bobby. 1 for 3 of the night, and that's going to be outside 1-0. 8,442. Second to last inning here in this one, and that one is outside again, 2-0. Springfield 3-1 in the bottom of the third. Tulsa 4-1 against Arkansas in the bottom of 4. Boy, getting dark as they get ready for the later innings. But so far here in Frisco, it's already dark here. So pretty nice about that. A nice city that is so far nicely lit. Here's the pitch, and that one is out of play, foul. It's 2-2. Stadium lights at full blast, which that is always good. And that one fouled off, count now 2-2. Well, today has been a great day, you know. Took an afternoon nap around the 2 to 3 o'clock hour. But so far, always a good thing to get some much-needed rest. And due to a new work week coming up, that's always a good thing. Well, the 6th inning, we look at this prospect, number 22, and boy, look at this. He literally drilled it out of here for a single, and that pretty much untied the ball game. And that was right fielder Braden Carpathios. Here's a pitch to him. And that one ricochets foul, 0-1. One man down, nobody on for San Antonio here in the 8th inning. That one's going to be high fly in the air, straight to right field, out number 2.
Now batting, third baseman, Clay Dungan.
That'll bring in Clay Dungan. Third baseman is 1 for 3 single. But to Nate Mondu and his family and friends, relatives, everybody, wishing them the best of luck in Nate Mondu's journey. We'll miss him a lot, you know, but that name will go down as a legend in the minor leagues. Well, right there, that will be out number 3 as we now head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. And San Antonio leads the game 3-2. So Cook, Chavez, and Guerrero will lead things off in the bottom half of the 8th. And so far, pretty good. Second baseman is Casey Cook as we lead off the bottom half of the 8th inning here in Frisco. Gotta say, it's a sad day for us to say goodbye to this Frisco defense and also this team after tonight. 6 games in Frisco was really fun. Even though this is game 24 of 24 of the meetup. So far after today, no more will be played by these 2 ball clubs. One man down in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Casey Cook goes down, retired for the last time here tonight. Third baseman Frenier Chavez coming in.
No!
As he takes a ball outside, it's 1-0. Close ball game here in the bottom of the 8th inning. San Antonio leads at 3-2. And the pitch downstairs, and that's outside 2-0. 2-0 offering. That one ricochet foul. And it's the count now 2-1. One guy in particular on Atlas Earth is the King of Queens. Basically 156,000 parcels. And President of the United States as he secures a big lead on parcels. Well, you're almost to your first 1,000, ain't you? Not even close, 787. Here's the pitch. And right there, as that's going to get in through for a base hit over Castagnon's head. Even though, that's going to be a long time for me to catch up with him, but I bet you once I get up there one day, bet you he have 300,000 parcels. And I'll probably be at my first 100,000. Pablo Guerrero coming in. Ooh, yikes. Boy, that ricochets right off the catcher. Oh, man. Well, you don't want to ever get hit by one of those. Good thing he was wearing that protective mask, as always. And that's going to miss right there. And all the way. And here comes the runner, and that's going to tie us up at 3-3. So we got a brand new ball game here, folks. Man, I'll tell you one thing, really good for this guy right here. As he gets around and scores in the game's tying run. And now Quincy Scott now being up for this one. Well, if Frisco can untie the ball game and get 3 more outs against San Antonio, then they definitely would win it. Here's the 0-1. High pop up in the air. Second baseman Castagnon looks up after it. And that is out number 2.
Now batting.
Well, it'd be 156,690 for this one guy. He did a major parcel dump today, which basically he leads the first in the 500 biggest landowners of Atlas Earth, which that right there, pretty good.
That's a ball.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, when the app launched in 2021 as a early adopter, you should have got in and got something going on that. Bobby, I asked myself that question too. I should have got in there. I should have, could have, would have, but my friend didn't tell me about it until later on. But ever since I got in there, I really wanted to just get in and make that money. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count, and here's the pitch. High pop up straight away. The shortstop Francisco Acuna looks in, and that ends the inning. But Pablo Guerrero ties up the ball game as he gets the RBI double and scores in the game's tying run. And now to the 9th inning we go. It's 3-3 on this Sunday night. Right-handed reliever Austin Roberts will be on the mound for Frisco. We start up the top of the 9th inning coming up. Well, we go to the top of the ninth inning here in Frisco as the San Antonio Missions will lead it off. Austin Roberts coming in as we welcome you back to the Sunday night broadcast here tonight in Frisco. Scouting report, four-seam slider, a two-seam fastball coming in as we get ready for the ninth inning for the San Antonio Missions. Kason Wales reporting for duty. 3-3 ball game here in this one. And that's a high pop-up straightaway up to right field. Just shy of center, makes the play out number one.
Now batting, catcher, number 4.
Well, the catcher comes in is Oswaldo Linares. Northwest Arkansas now 5-3 against Springfield, top of the fourth inning. Tulsa 5-1 in the bottom of the fifth. For the series finales that we deal with here today as we end a pretty good work week. Don't forget, next week we are at home taking on the visiting Northwest Arkansas Naturals. 6-game series versus the Kansas City Royals AA affiliate. Out number 2. Wichita being here in Frisco as they take on a second leadoff homestand of 6. Well, the first 6 against San Antonio. The next leadoff is against Wichita, which that apparently is good. Northwest Arkansas and San Antonio next week, which that will be pretty good. Marcos Castagnolo 0-1 the count. 2 outs, nobody on. High in the air to straightaway, and that will do it. So now that will be a 1-2-3 productive inning. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on. And we go now to the bottom of the ninth inning. The winning run steps up to the plate. That's Marcus Lee Sang, Brock or Hardy, as we get ready to go here in this one. Well, we lead it off in the bottom of the ninth inning for the Frisco RoughRiders. Right now, the Riders Baseball Network. Marcus Lee Sang, the winning run, 7-8-9, due up against Garrett Hawkins. Looks in from the stretch. Here is the pitch from Hawkins. And that one is in for a strike. It's 0-1. 3-3 ball game entering into the bottom half of the ninth inning here tonight. Frisco, Texas, 0-1. High pop up. And that one is going to bounce out of play foul. 0-2. Looking in for the winning run. That would be a home run. And that will be out of play foul. 0-2. Well, 3 outs could mean we got free baseball for you here tonight. And here's the pitch right there, ground ball. diving stop passes to Garrett Hawkins. They got him out at first in time by a footstep, and that's out number 1.
Number 4.
But so far, a pretty good night for these two ball clubs. They compete really hard, even though their last time seeing each other here in the season. Would say it was a pretty nice time to see Frisco, Corpus Christi, Wichita, Tulsa, and Springfield. Springfield for short, getting pretty good. Except we have 6 more games after next week against Northwest Arkansas. The 0-1.
Ball.
That one is outside, and the count now 1-1. Looking for the game's winning run here in this one. Here's a pitch.
Nope. Ball 2.
That one outside, 2-1. 3-3 ball game. Julian Brock swings and misses after it, 2-2. Frisco trying to claim the W here tonight. High in the air, straight away. Center field is Kai Roberts. He'll make the play. And that is out number 2.
Number 3.
Boy, 8:32 getting into the evening ball game. So far, just a good night here in Frisco. If anybody could win this, it's these two ball clubs. Right there, ground ball up to third and up to first. That is the inning, and that means the doctor ordered more baseball for everybody. And so far, now to the 10th inning we go, as San Antonio will lead it off. So Castañon will start as second. Here is the shortstop, Francisco Acuna, as we lead off the top of the 10th inning. And, ooh, ouch, that got him.
Now batting. Center field.
And so far, now first and second, 2 men down. And here is center fielder Kai Roberts. Well, that is one thing you don't want to do when pitching in the defense squad is you let one loose, you hit a batter, now you're in trouble facing first and second. Not the abnormal thing that a pitcher would do, except that one pitcher would get charged. But here's the 0-2 offering. That one outside, 1-2. Boy, that was almost close on hitting him. That could have been a bases-loaded jam right there. That one through the middle, and that's a line for the center field base hit. And San Antonio, oh, man. Boy, that is trouble for Frisco. Nobody to put anywhere. You got to think, oh, man, this is not good. Here is left fielder Kai Murphy as he takes one outside, 1 ball and no strikes, 0 for 4. Strikeout, 2 flyouts, and a ground out. Don't forget, kids return back to school for their second week. Monday through Friday. And that is in for a strike. It's 0-1, or 1-1 to count. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch is a foul. 1-2. One and two the count, and here's the pitch. And that one ripped foul. Still hanging on, 1-2. San Antonio has the bases loaded in the 10th. 3-3 ball game. And the pitch right there, ground ball, and that one's still foul. One ball, 2 strikes the count. And that one's high in the air. And no, they're not going to get him, as that could have been an easy double play to get out of the half inning.
93.
But Romeo Sanabria comes in, one for three. I do believe he had a double early head on. That's in for a strike. It's 0-1. Frisco trying to win this one, but in danger if they give up some home runs. That one is a swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Here's the pitch. And that one's going to be line drive through for a base hit. 1 run scores, 2 runs score, 3 runs score. And now it's a 6-3 ball game.
Right fielder, number 22.
Man, 3-run double for Romeo Sanabria. That is one way you get things ready to rock and roll on a Sunday night. Pretty good for San Antonio, but now the Quesos manager is going to come out and pull up out of Austin Roberts. Well, making him leave the ball game already as they gave up that 3-run. And so far, got to say, pretty bad on that. Aiden Curry getting ready to go as he's in relief now for Frisco. He'll take the manager from... Well, he'll take the ball from the manager as he gets on. Aiden Curry now pitching for the Frisco RoughRiders. 6-3 here in the top half of the 10th inning. Boy, Frisco's going to have to pull off a 4-run lead against San Antonio if they tried to win it. Boy, that's what they would need in order to claim the series finale victory against San Antonio. But not so easy when you're down by 3.
That's a ball.
That one down and outside, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 outside, and boy, that would dust him off the plate. First 4 pitches for Aiden Curry as he comes in. The pitch. And that one right there, ground ball to second. Throw him out at first in time, out number 2. 7th run for San Antonio, just hits 90 feet away from scoring in. Here is third baseman Clay Dungan. 1 for 4, a single tonight. And so far, Frisco trying to make a great comeback here in this one. That's a ground ball right there. And that is going to be safely, as that will be a run in to score. And now it's a 4-run lead for San Antonio. Boy, just a pretty good way of getting in the RBI single by Clay Dungan. Here's Kason Wells as he'll take that one outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Well, they'll overturn it now into a count now, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. 4 runs in the half inning for the extra innings here, 10th inning. Here's the 0-2 offering. And the pitch right there, a swing and a miss, goes down. Throws them out at first in time, and that is how the half inning comes to an end. 6 men come to the plate, 4 of them score on 4 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. We go bottom of the 10th. San Antonio leads at 7-3.
Leading things off, right
Yason Morabel, the right fielder, comes in, 1 for 4 double and a run. And here's the pitch. And And now the runner moves up 90 feet away from scoring into a wild pitch. Manager out there not looking too happy about that, but a 4-run lead will definitely put a smile on his face. Dyson Morabel comes in as he throws to first, but the run is in to score. And now San Antonio just trailing, or keeping ahead at least by 3. Second baseman Casey Cook coming in 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts, a flyout, and a groundout. Tulsa leading 5-1 against Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas 5-4, top of the 5th. San Antonio leading 7-3 here in extra innings tonight. Here's pitch. Right there, and now to play, 0-1. Boy, Midland leading 14-0 in today's game. That was the final. Corpus Christi 5-2.
Oh, that's a ball.
That's a ball right there and in. And they're going to intentionally walk him over, so no dice on that. So now that'll bring up Rainier Chavez as he comes in 2 for 4. And the pitch. Right there and in for a strike. 0-1. Now they're going to balk him over too. What the heck is that problem? So now the tying run is up to the plate now. Pablo Guerrero, the first baseman, 2 for 4, a double, a single. 3-run lead would close the gap already. Here's the pitch. That one high fly and foul. And that's 0-1. 3 to tie it, 4 to win it here in tonight's contest. Right there and in for the strike, it's 0-2. Oh, now they're going to walk him over. So that will load up the bases.
Number 19.
As now Frisco has the winning run, Quincy Scott on the mound. Here is the pitch. And that's going to be a high flyer. And the score is going to be cut to at least 2 more. Man, I'll tell you one thing. If they could get in and tie it here, that would save them from elimination. There would be a 11th inning and a bottom half of the 11th inning as well. That is for sure. Here's Keith Jones the second. That one high and outside is 1-0. Boy, one more out here in Frisco. This game almost on the edge for the Rough Riders. That one is also outside, 2-0. Boy, San Antonio and Frisco 24 times this year combined. 12 at Nelson Wolf in San Antonio, 12 here in Frisco. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's the count now 2-1. And here's the pitch. Ouch, that got him.
Take your base.
And now the manager's going to have something to say about that. And he's calling, he's going to get warned, and now the bullpens are going to get warned. Man, you don't see that every day. The home plate umpire has been issued a warning to both sides. Now, oh man, he is going after him like a dog. Warnings issued. And it's 1 for 4 double by Marcus Lee Sang. So, Garrett Hawkins has been warned. And now the 2 bullpens have been warned. Any more lip coming from those 2 bullpens? Yeah, there'll be ejections coming up next. That one is outside, 1-1. We saw that in Tulsa during the start of this series. And here's the 1-1 offering, and that one is outside, 2-1. Boy, the winning run is at first base. Here's the 2-1 offering. And that one is pelted. And it is gone. And Frisco walks it off here in the 9th inning. And now San Antonio will lose their 2-game winning streak, as that will do it for this team. And boy, they came in tonight and they win it here by the final score of 9-5. Boy, what a night it's been. And so far, now that was a pretty good one. Well, tell you one thing, always a pretty good ball game. But never too good when you get warnings issued against you. Garrett Hawkins, that's the first time this season he has been issued a verbal warning on his conduct. And so far, that will pretty much do it for these two teams here this year. For San Antonio and Frisco. See you all again next year, gentlemen. Final score 9-7. As they win it by 2 runs ahead of San Antonio. And so far, a pretty good one. Boy, tell you one thing, always a good thing when you see that. But anyway, Frisco stays home to take on Wichita. San Antonio goes home to take on the Naturals. And gotta say, so far pretty good. And so far, always a pretty good one. Boy, Frisco scoring in 6 in the bottom of the 10th inning. But a pretty good job, well done for Aiden Curry, who gets the win. Marcus Lee sang 2 for 5, a home run and 2 doubles. What's that right there? Pretty good. Well, anyway, for the Frisco RoughRiders, we wish them the best of luck in this season. And so far, pretty good. Well, tell you one thing, always a good thing when you see something like that go on. Well, we'll be right back as we'll see the instant replay of what happened. Well, we welcome you back to the Frisco RoughRiders ball game, and gotta say tonight, what a night it's been as Frisco wins it 9-7 in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Gotta say, Johnny, you made a error in the bottom of the 10th inning. You called it the bottom of the ninth, but don't think you mean that. Yeah, probably not. But anyway, yes, it has been a long week, as we all know. And so far, it was a pretty good one here in Frisco for this week. But so far, now San Antonio is getting ready to head home and say goodbye to Frisco for the year. And so far, our final four teams tonight, Arkansas and Tulsa, Northwest Arkansas, and Springfield. Boy, it's a late start getting into those ball teams. Top of the sixth there against Northwest Arkansas in Springfield. Top of the seventh inning there as Tulsa leads 5-1. Northwest Arkansas leading 6-4 against the Springfield Cardinals. Well, anyway, I got to say, boy, tell you one thing, what a night it's been, what a week it's been, and what a season it's been. But now we look at the final 4 weeks left of this regular season. Got to say, this has been quite a long season. We're just so looking forward to see this season come to an end. And hopefully that everything will be good at the end of this one. Well, Frisco picks up their 61st win. San Antonio picking up their 60th loss of the season as they gave up this ball game tonight. And so far, got to say, pretty good. Well, anyway, for the RoughRiders, wishing them the best of luck for the remainder of this 4-week regular season that is left. And so far, playoff rounds, tickets will go on sale now for those playoff rounds. It'll be Frisco taking on Amarillo, Tulsa taking on the Arkansas Travelers. To be the final 4 in this 2-on-2 battle royale as two teams will go down, and then it'll be 2 teams that will be left in the Texas League that will battle it out for the chance to win this year's Texas League title. Well, anyway, got to say, we wish these teams the best of luck. And so far, for the rest of this regular season, with San Antonio taking on Northwest Arkansas, Springfield, Midland, and Amarillo, final 4 teams left of the current regular season. And then it will be time for the broadcast of the playoff rounds. So, Bobby, I'm thinking we are going to see how this will turn out for Frisco and Amarillo. But anyway, Bobby, what do you think the team that we should play as? Well, thinking we should go to Frisco, because basically that would be pretty good if we go to Frisco. Amarillo, way too far, but most evidently we'll head to Frisco. Very good choice. Okay. Thank you there, Bobby. Well, so far, Tulsa and Arkansas will definitely take a go when it's time for them and stuff to go for the playoff rounds. And so far, pretty good. Well, anyway, for all of us here tonight, final score as Frisco walks it off to a grand slam. 9-7 is the RoughRiders winning it here tonight. And so far, Frisco claiming their 61st win of the season. San Antonio now 54-60 as they lose to the RoughRiders and giving up the 2-game winning streak. And so far, yes, a lot of intentional walks in the bottom of the 10th inning, and that's what really killed the San Antonio Missions tonight, was saying all of that. Well, anyway, yeah, Johnny, I got to say, you're not wrong about that, about Frisco. And then, Garrett Hawkins gets the warning, and the bullpens get the warning too. That is for sure. We saw that in Tulsa during the start of this season. And so far, I don't know who got warned, but most evidently we will go back to that series opener and see where they warned this one guy. I don't know if they warned him out of spite, but I think they did. But most evidently we'll have to go back and see that game there in Tulsa against San Antonio. Anyway, we are going to leave here and we are headed home. So final score, Frisco 9, San Antonio 7, as Game 6 comes to the loss for the Missions, and Frisco takes the W here tonight. For all of us here, happy travels, and Frisco, best of luck to y'all on this rest of these weeks. We'll see y'all next year in the Texas League. So we'll have 24 more games with them in 2027. See y'all again soon, and we'll get y'all going. Have a good night, everybody. Safe travels home. Bobby, time to go, bud.
Oh, yes, sir.